Why did the dad make the board gaming list? To kit to the other ride. Hi everybody, welcome to Family Board Games. This is going to be a new type of video. This is going to be a list video. And in this video, we're focusing on the top 10 games my 7-year-old loves, or best games for a 7-year-old. So I'm excited to bring you this list. It'll be a little quicker than my other reviews. It'll be top 10, but we're going to start with some honorable mentions. And so these honorable mentions are going to be Overboss. So Overboss, we have a full review on. Both boys really love this game. You can check that out. The link is in the description. Next up, King of Tokyo, same thing. We have a full video review of King of Tokyo. Please check that one out. That'll be in the description as well. And then I'm really excited about this. This is Marvel United. But we've only played this once. We just got this in from Kickstarter with a bunch of the expansions as well. We played it once. It's amazing. My son, CMan, already wants to play it again, but we just got it. So not yet ready to include it in this list or to review it. So let's start with the list of top 10. These are in no particular order, except for the fact that I wanted to be able to stack them up here. So the bigger boxes are going to be coming first at the top of this list. So as mentioned, Ticket to Ride is a great game. This is Ticket to Ride, My First Journey. So this is the kids' version of Ticket to Ride. Ticket to Ride is a classic gateway game, meaning it's good for new gamers. It was actually my gateway game that brought me into modern board gaming. And so you're collecting cards to lay trains down in a track and trying to connect routes to different cities. You can actually kind of upscale this game to have some of the features of, once you've played out the basic version of this, you can add in the card market, so you can actually have card selection. You can even do scoring, so you can essentially upscale this to be very similar to Ticket to Ride, and then once you move on from this, you can start playing the real Ticket to Ride game. So we really like this one. Next up is Monopoly Gamer. So there's a lot of angst in the board gaming community against Monopoly, and mainly because it takes too long and there's player elimination, so players can get knocked out. This fixes both of those issues. This Monopoly Gamer version, which is Mario, it only takes about an hour. There's essentially a time limit on it, and you play to a final score, no one gets knocked out. So this fixes those issues. Monopoly is a game that I grew up playing. I had a newfound love for it in high school as well, playing it more of a cutthroat trading style, and I really annoyed my best friend, wanted to play it a lot. So Monopoly has another special place in my heart, but this is a better version, and the boys play this by themselves, and we even got some of the expansions to get some of the additional characters that all have kind of a different power. So Monopoly Gamer, a lot of fun. Next up is a game called Marrakesh. So Marrakesh, you move a guy and then you place a carpet. You want to cover up other people's carpets. You want to have the most carpets in a block, because when people land in it, they have to pay you that many. Very simple game. You turn a direction for the token, you roll and you see how many you go. So there's some chance, there's some luck, there's a little bit of tactics and strategy. It's great for kids. If you want to check it out, you can play this for free on the website boardgamearena.com. That's where actually I first learned about it, and I said, hey, I think this would be good for the boys, and I was correct. So Marrakesh is a fun one. Next up is a game called Camel Up. So Camel Up, these camels race around the track, and really what it is, it's a betting game. So that might turn some families off, because what you're doing is you're betting to think who's going to win this round or who's going to win the game. But it's just a lot of fun. It's a great party game. It's good for kids. It'd be good for adults, because you can get raucous in terms of, which camel's going to win, and some camels are going the wrong direction, which can carry some camels along with them. The production value on this is amazing. The table presence, it looks great. When you open up the board, this palm tree comes up. There's a pyramid right in the middle where the dice come out of. So the game just looks awesome, and it's fun to play as long as you're okay with it being a betting game, essentially. Next up is another junior game. So this is Stone Age Junior. So this is the kids' version of Stone Age. Stone Age is a gateway worker placement game. What does that mean? So that means you have these characters, they're called meeples, and so you put your worker or your meeple out to a place and you get those resources, and ultimately you're trading in those resources for different things. This has a similar mechanic where you have these cards around the board, these tiles around the board, and you need to go flip one over. They're covered up, and you flip one over, and that gives you something. So that gives you a fish, or that lets you move 2 spaces. And then once you collect enough of those resources to build a hut, then all of those tiles actually flip back over. So there's a great part of this for kids for memory. So, oh, I need the fish, so I need to go here. Or I want to move 2 tiles. I think that one was over here. So a great entry-level worker placement game. That's Stone Age Junior. Next up is Katan Junior. So Katan is like Ticket to Ride, you know, kind of one of the classic gateway games. And so Katan Junior takes those same mechanics where you are building settlements, or in this case, you're building layers and boats to connect between those layers. And if you roll dice, and if you have a layer next to that land or that number, then you get resources. So what's fun about this is you're always involved, because you always have a chance to get resources even not on your turn. The other thing I really like about this is it's a double-sided board. So one side is for 2 players, the other one's for 3 to 4. So it scales well between the different number of players. So Katan Junior, you know, and there's a good amount of luck in this as well, which is always good for family games, because basically anyone can win, and kids are going to learn how to trade and how to work a market. Next one is Sequence. So we started off playing Sequence Junior, which has animals and is a little simpler. Now we're playing full Sequence with my 7-year-old and my 4-year-old. You can pick this up in any big box store. It's a classic game. And so you play a card to put a chip out there on this board, and you're trying to connect 2 rows of 5 in a row. You're trying to block others. There's some cards that let you pull up a chip. There's some cards that let you play a wild. And so this is a great game to be played with a couple people, and you can play, I don't know, a bunch of people, and you can just do teams. And so a really fun family game that is Sequence. Next up is we're going to talk about Long Cow, and you might be able to hear it. There's a little guy in here, or a little thing in here that makes a cow noise, which is a lot of fun. So there's some toy value in this game. So Long Cow is a card game, and it comes in essentially this milk box. And you're collecting different parts of cows, and you're trying to have the longest cow and the biggest herd, and you get points for how many different cow parts you have. In some cases, you can steal cows, but there's also some take that actions, but you can also have blocking. And so again, a lot of luck in terms of what cow cards you get, but there's some strategy in terms of, do I play this or do I not play this? It's from Game Right Games, and they make some really great kids games. So this is Long Cow, an utterly ridiculous card game. It's got dad joke on the front, so who doesn't love that? Next up is Dragonwood. So this is another from Game Right Games. We've played this a ton. This is a great game. We will probably do a full review of this at some point. So Dragonwood is a set collection game similar to Rummy, where you're trying to collect either runs of the numbers increasing order, or same color, or the same number. And then once you play that, you get that many dice based on how big that set is, and then you roll it to try to capture creatures or get enhancements to make you more powerful. Ultimately, you're trying to get the 2 dragons, and you add up the score at the end. It's a really fun game. It teaches kids probability. It travels well. And so we really like Dragonwood, and it plays relatively quick in 20 minutes or so. And then the last game here is Exploding Kittens. Exploding Kittens you can pick up in any big box store as well. And so it's a simple party game where you're trying to not draw the exploding kitten. So you're playing cards to skip your turn, or make the other person go twice, etc. And so there's some risk mitigation in terms of, do I want to draw a card in the hope that I can make a set, or do I want to skip my turn because I know what you did and I know you placed that kitten next in the pile, or you think you know. And so this is a lot of fun. The boys will actually again play this by themselves since we've introduced it. When we only introduced a couple weeks ago, and they've been playing it a lot. The one thing is there's some crude humor on here, which the boys certainly enjoy. Nothing too bad, but there is some crude humor, just to let you know. And make sure you get there is a not safe for work or not safe for kids version. This is just the regular one. Make sure you get this one. Otherwise, that could be a bad mix-up. And so that is the top 10 games my 7-year-old loves. So again, Ticket to Ride, Monopoly Gamer, Marrakesh, Camel Up, Stone Age Junior, Katan Junior, Sequence, Long Cow, Dragonwood, Exploding Kittens. I hope you've liked this video and this different type of video. We'll still be doing the long form review videos as well. But if you like this, please give it a like on YouTube. Please hit subscribe and please click the bell so you get notified when new videos come out. Thank you very much, everybody. This is Russ from Family Board Games. Goodbye.